Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about decision prefetch method and how can we use it to improve the performance in our application. A couple of months back we did the SAF data access video where we went over all the either space, list view data access mode, lazy loading, non-persistent object, XP view, XP query, and so on. So highly recommend this. And of course the source code. You can get it here. Right there you will see all the actions that we covered on the video. And one of the topics that we went there was decision prefetch method. So right here we're talking about regular XPO classes, but we have one of our students that is actually asking about domain components, how they can use it in domain components. So it's pretty much the same methodology, is pretty much the same exact syntax. So we decided to do a quick sample project. And I always recommend that to all our students. If you are not sure how something works, do it really sample project. Delete me 1, delete me 274, and just test it there. Just create a parent object, create a collection, see how that works. So that's exactly what we did here. The first thing that I want to see is the documentation. We have here the prefetch method for the session, and we see we have 4 overloads. And we can see it that we have all of them here. And pretty much it's depending of what you have available right there, of what are you, how you wanna go about this. If you see in this overload, we have the class info that provides the metadata for the parent class. We also have the list of parent objects, and we can have the property path. So we're gonna have a string array that we can pass. These are all the collections that we want to get loaded. These are the collections and the delay property that we want to get loaded. That means that we're gonna bring everything at once. So no additional query for this data will be performed later. The second one is similar, but is more targeted. So if you already have a collection loaded, if you already have the collection in your code, then you can reuse it. If you see here, we already have the people collection and the phone number collection. So that way we can get the member info and use all those 3 together to do the prefetch. Same thing with the other overload is if you already have the collection there, you will pass the parent object, you will pass the collection content, and you will pass the other one. Let's see it here. Again, we have the 2 collections and we can bring it there. So depending of your scenario, if you are in a controller and you already have the collections there, or if you just want to pass the property as a string, you will use one of the other one. But at the end, the purpose here is just avoid trips to the database. Instead of doing just 200 trips going through lazy loading every time that you touch the property, you have it already there. You go to the database just at once and bring the whole collection. And if you see, this is the last overload where we're going to again pass the property path as a string. And there is also an example here. So this is a great exercise. You come here, test all the overloads, and see how they work, see how you can play with it. So let's go to the code.
Also, right, Javier, before you show the code, there is something that is need to be said in this case, that what we're showing is basically XPO. So we need to move a little bit away from the SAF layer and go to the XPO layer. So we will show it there in the example.
Yeah, and I want to say a quick recommendation, a quick warning. Domain components being already deprecated by DevExpress, so it's not moving forward. It's not going to have any new features. The recommendation is to migrate all your domain components to XPO classes, and especially because if you want to be using SAF Blazor, that has a lot of performance boost, a lot of great look and feel, and in my opinion, is the future. You need to start thinking your migration path. We have a great Safer in Netherlands that have a huge project in domain component, and he's moving little by little in that regard. So we wish him luck, and I'm more than happy to help in any way we can. So let's get to it. So we have our business object here, and pretty much we have again iPerson, we have iPhone, iOrder, and this is the one that we're gonna be using. We have an parent that will be an iOrder and the list of iOrder items. So let's run this and let's see the queries that get generated. So right here we have an order that is to order, and in that order we have 3 products. In the order we have 1 product, and that's pretty much it. And we have these three actions: prefetch, without prefetch, and the link query. So let's clear the console. And let's start with the without prefetch. We see here, the first thing that we create our space, we create our collection. And if we get here, there is not even one query that has been done. Until we touch the order collection, that's when the queries are going to start to happen. So if we continue, if you see, we already came to the order and we have our first query that we're selecting from the order. This record is null. So after that, every time that we're iterating the for each, we see that another query is being generated. We go again, another query is being generated. So let's do something. If we see here, let's type from here and we can see the first query is going to the order and bringing all the orders that we have available. And after that, is going to the order item for each order, and we're doing a select all the properties where the order has this ID. And because we only have two orders, you see, we have this query. So this is without prefetch. It's doing one query for the parent and n plus queries for every one. Now, let's clear the console. And let's do with prefetch. So if you see here, again, we have the order collection, the order item collection, we have the member info, and let's see how it brings all these collections together. We got here, and without even getting to the for each, we see that we have two queries. One that is bringing the order, and the second one that will bring all the order items. And it's passing the parameter, the two orders that we have. So if we have 3, 4, 5 orders, all those parameters will be here to come everything at once. So we can see that in this for each, there will not be any other query being created. Nothing. Yeah, everything was already there in memory. And the latest one, let's do a link. And this one is really interesting, actually. Let's just first take the where. And we're gonna have to run it again. Now let's check the link. If you see it right now, it hasn't done any query yet. It will do it as soon as touch the link order. But the interesting thing is that as soon as it took it, it bring everything. It bring the OID first for the order, then will bring all the orders based on those OID, and then it will bring the order item based on the order that it brings. Let's click continue, and we can see that no other query has been generated. Nothing. So one thing that I think that is really interesting here is that right here we can do things like dot where and let's run it again. So you see the difference in the query. You see, until here, no query has been done. As soon as we touch this, that will happen. But if you see now, the first query that is only asking for the OID, now is also having a where. So only bring me everything that the number, it has the one. If we continue, no more queries, and you can see here in the order items where it's just passing just one order, in opposite of before that it was passing all the orders. So we can do some really neat things. Well, so that's pretty much it. The idea here is just to show that with a blank SAF application, couple classes, nothing too crazy, you can test all of those. You can test how XPO is generating the query, and that way you can then integrate it in a bigger system, and you can make sure that you avoid as much trips as the database as possible, because as we have found, that's one of the main bottlenecks in the performance of the enterprise applications. Well, guys, that will be all for this video. We're going to share the source code of this project in the description of the video, and see you in the next one.
Bye.